I'm going to play this segment from the Chris Matthews Show, and basically the surrogate for Senator Sanders is going to do something, or say something actually, that should have been said a long time ago. And in my opinion, Bernie Sanders needs to pick up on the comments that his surrogate is going to make in this clip and repeat it everywhere that he can.
Right now is Congressman Clyburn from Columbia, South Carolina. Here in Las Vegas, by the way, is Bernie Sanders' campaign manager, Jeff Weaver. In New York, Pulitzer Prize-winning columnist Eugene Robinson. All three gentlemen with us right now, together from three different parts of the world. I've got to go to Congressman Clyburn. You said today, I heard you somewhere saying that one of the reasons you endorsed today and didn't wait till after the primary in South Carolina, even next week, is that you want to help Hillary Clinton out here tomorrow in Nevada.
Well, first of all, thanks for having me, Chris. Yes, on yesterday, I talked with several friends out in Las Vegas to ask how things were going. And they said to me at the time they wanted to know what I was going to do. And I said that I am planning on endorsing Hillary Clinton the first of next week. A few of them thought that I should do it sooner. As you know, many people in Las Vegas and other places are people that I've campaigned with and among for a long, long time. And so I thought that I would go ahead and step it up and announce today if they thought it might be helpful.
What do you think?
So they called in a favor because Hillary, it looks like she's going to lose in Nevada, and they had him come in now to try to shore up the black vote that's up in Nevada, which is small in comparison to the Hispanic vote. I believe the black vote in Nevada is approximately 10%, whereas the Hispanic vote is approximately 25%. But as I thought, the Clintons were calling in favors, so as he indicated, he was going to announce for her next week, but they asked him to call this in early to try to push that 10% of the black vote completely into her column.
Is the difference to who becomes president of the United States if it's a Democrat in 2017? We're talking about the future here, the next 4 years. What is the central difference between Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton to you, and why you pick Hillary Clinton?
I think it's experience and know-how. Let's be sure of one thing. I know both these candidates. I've been in Congress now. This is my 24th year. I've worked with both of them. I don't have a problem with Bernie Sanders at all. I just believe when you look at the two of them, compare their resumes, their experiences, their preparation for the future of this country, I just think that it's not even close between Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders. She is by far, on paper, the best, by experience, the better, and I just believe that she would be exactly what our country needs going forward.
Now, if you're talking about experience, Bernie Sanders has been an elected official for the past 30 plus years, okay? He was mayor up in Vermont. He was in the House of Representatives for Vermont, and he's been the senator for Vermont for a long time. Now, you want to compare the experience. Hillary Clinton was elected to the Senate in New York, which she served 8 years. I'm sorry, 6 years plus another 2, 8 years, I'm correct. And then she served 4 years in the Obama administration as Secretary of State. So she's got a grand total of 12 years of elected service. Bernie Sanders has been responsible for a city, all the aspects of running a city as a mayor. All she's done is basically been a senator, which she has not been responsible for anything individually, but jointly at being a senator, and she has been responsible to voice the foreign policy desires of President Obama. So, we're talking about elected experience, you know, hers does not compare to his. Now, if you want to add the 8 years that she was First Lady in the White House, and then the amount of time that she was First Lady for the state of Arkansas, yeah, then you're getting close. But she herself was not responsible for running anything. So this experience thing is getting me. Does she have more foreign policy experience than Bernie Sanders? Without a doubt. But right now, we do need knowledge in foreign policy, which you can get that from advisors, and as long as you use common sense. And the common sense thing to do is to get the hell out of those, out of the Middle East. But as far as dealing and helping with the people, Bernie is well above her.
Let me go. I've got to go to Jeff. You've been great to come on the show a number of times. Tell me how you react. Tell me about this experience thing. Is experience just a rap sheet today? I mean, Hillary's been First Lady of Arkansas for all those many 6 terms, I think. Right. All those years as First Lady of the United States. Elected United States Senator from New York State. And then, of course, Secretary of State. An amazing position of experience. Nobody can match that kind of experience. What's Bernie got over that? Your candidate, Senator Sanders.
Look, this is what Bernie Sanders has. He has consistency and reliability. He has been on the front lines of the fight for justice, for economic justice, for racial justice, all throughout his political career. And what he does not do is throw people under the bus when it's politically expedient. Whether it was in 1994 when then First Lady Clinton called young African-American youth super predators to push a terrible crime bill, or whether it was using coded language in 1996 to pass welfare reform, or whether it was throwing gay people under the bus with DOMA. That's not what Bernie Sanders does. He stands tall with people, even when the fight is not.
In political terms, you say that that President Clinton and his wife trimmed, that they were trimmers. They were really not helping black people, but pretending to.
No, look.
And that's a pretty strong charge against the guy.
No, look, what I'm saying to you, Chris, is the truth, which is when the going gets tough, when there was triangulation that was necessary, they triangulated.
And where was Bernie Sanders? Nobody was thinking about him.
He was not triangulating.
But he was.
Yeah, sorry about that. I needed to restart this thing.
You say that that President Clinton and his wife trimmed, that they were trimmers. They were really not helping black people, but pretending to.
No, look.
And that's a pretty strong charge against the guy.
No, look, what I'm saying to you, Chris, is the truth, which is when the going gets tough, when there was triangulation that was necessary, they triangulated.
And where was Bernie Sanders? Nobody was thinking about him.
He was not triangulating.
But he wasn't on the front lines. What do you mean the front lines? Bernie Sanders is probably a very good guy with strong beliefs and consistent beliefs. I don't know. No. Consistent beliefs.
See, now, this is where Chris Matthews is going to be disingenuous, because right there he says he doesn't know him. So if he doesn't know him, how can he say that he wasn't on the front lines? Here is his surrogate, who has been with Bernie Sanders for the past 30 years, and he's saying that he was out there pushing for, you know, basic equalities, you know, across the board. And even Jim Clyburn is not really going to try to denigrate Sanders' career and the activities that he's undertaking.
But he was on the front lines. Look him up in the day. How many times have you even thought about him until a year ago?
Look, I worked with him for over 30 years.
Well, then I know what he's with you.
I know what he's doing in the house.
But okay, he was on the front lines. Let me get back to Gene. Gene, I'm going to go. Mr. Clyburn, respond to that.
Well,
was Bernie Sanders?
See, now Chris is trying to get Jim Clyburn to back up his assertion that Bernie Sanders wasn't on the front line, and Jim Clyburn's not going to go for it.
The front lines was he on the front lines of issues involving race in this country?
Well, I don't know when that could have been. I understand his activities in Chicago back to doing those housing strikes. I remembered all of that. But let me say this. When Hillary Clinton came out of law school, she came straight here to South Carolina as a young lawyer, helping young African Americans who were being put in jail with adult prisoners. She fought that issue. She left here and went to Alabama and worked against segregated issues in Alabama. She ran a legal aid program back in Arkansas. This wasn't in preparation to run for president. This was in a fulfillment of who and what she is.
See, but if you're going to say that, then when Bernie Sanders participated in the strike and the sit-ins at the University of Chicago, you could say that that wasn't in preparation for him to run for president of the United States as well. So you got to compare apples to apples and oranges to oranges. So you can't make a statement trying to build somebody up on one side, but then discount the person on the other side who's basically done the same thing.
So I think that when you look at the resume, all the way from that time, all the way to being First Lady of Arkansas, to working with the Children's Defense Fund, she was the first one to go out on the point for universal access to health care. And when she failed, she fell back and she got S-CHIP, the State Children's Health Insurance Plan. These are the kinds of things in her resume that I think bodes well for the future of this country and for the future of the Democratic Party.
Well, then you can't discount the fact that she was pushing the crime bill with the 3 strikes law. And you also can't discount the fact that she was pushing in order to get welfare reform passed, which hurt a lot of people, and the majority of which were minorities. You can't talk about partial history without talking about the rest. So let's go.
So I'm not disparaging Mr. Sanders at all.
Which is a good thing.
I just believe that the resume of Mrs. Clinton is far superior to his.
Let me go to Jeff, and I want to go to Gene. Hillary Clinton had a little problem today in an interview. Let's go over this with Scott Pelley. Let's take an interview, which I think is not going to help Secretary Clinton in this discussion about trustworthiness, which was going to be the topic of this debate. Let's watch.
Hey, you talk about leveling with the American people. Have you always told the truth?
I've always tried to. Always. Always.
Some people are going to call that wiggle room that you just gave yourself.
Well, no,
You've always tried to.
No, I've always
Jimmy
tried to.
Carter said, I will never lie to you.
You know, you're asking me to say, have I ever? I don't believe I ever have.
And that is wiggle room.
Gene Robinson, let me go to Jeff first of all. What do you make of that?
What,
You're laughing.
She's never lied?
Well, no,
you ever lied?
I may have a vanity about that. I think I tell the truth, but I would say it, yeah. But, yeah, I do tell the truth. But about Hillary Clinton's more important to this discussion. Tell me, what do you think of that answer? Would Bernie Sanders say that? I always tell the truth?
Yeah, he does tell the truth. Of course he does. That's what people love about him.
Okay, great. Let me get Gene. What did you make of that question for Hillary Clinton? Is that going to bug her in this campaign?
Hell yeah, that's going to bug her, because any regular person, when you ask them a question, have you lied to such and such? Have you ever lied to such and such? And will you ever lie to such and such? The answer is always, no, I've never lied, and no, I never will lie. Not that I don't believe I've ever lied, or that I believe I will never lie. That is bullshit. That just means that given the right circumstances, you have lied, and in the future, given the right circumstances, you will lie. So she lost that one, and the Republicans are going to eat her ass alive on that one.
You could certainly, in a Republican attack ad, perhaps. I mean, you know, it's a tough question. It's a tricky question, because have you ever lied?
That is not a tricky question.
It might be something like, I will never lie to the American people. Something short, something definitive, and something that doesn't translate into an attack soundbite. But, you know, just to back up 1 second, you just heard Jim Clyburn give a very compelling civil rights case for Hillary Clinton, arguably.
But the Clintons can't make that same case for themselves. So anyway, hopefully Senator Sanders will take a page out of his surrogate's book and start using at least those 3 cases, and there's a ton more when he starts defending himself and attacking her, because as far as I'm concerned, the Clintons are full of shit.